Good morning. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
So let me just read this for starters, for folks at home, because the 14th Amendment does say this, that all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. So, sir, how do you reconcile this provision with Trump's executive order?
Well, I think you just read it there. I think there's two things that 14th Amendment says, that you were born in the United States and that you are actually subject to the jurisdiction thereof. And I think we all recognize that we have these folks that are here illegally are not having their allegiance to our country. And frankly, I think the fact that they're here illegally, they're illegal aliens, says it all.
You're also a former pastor in your community. What's your perspective on claims that the administration is being hateful, with this and targeting immigrants?
No, I think the nation, the president, and this administration is at a point where they made it clear when they ran that they were going to take these steps to bring law and order back to our country. And that's really what this is about. I mean, the whole idea of this birthright citizenship is something that is really more of a faulty decision that was handed down. It's not a part of federal law. It's a faulty interpretation of the 14th Amendment. And I think the fact that it's going to get out here, it's going to be, and ultimately, we need here in Congress to take a step. And I think that's going to be a part of hopefully passing Congressman Babin's bill that he has passed that really is going to follow up on the executive order that the president is putting forward. And as a pastor, I think it's important for us to have compassion, but I also understand that we've got to have law and order. And that is the main thing that I think this president made clear when he ran. And I think it, quite frankly, is what his executive order is putting in place.
What about Americans already born here who fall under, birthright citizenship? Will they be grandfathered in, or what would happen to their status, sir?
Well, I think that is still yet to be determined. And I think we're going to watch how this unfolds as we go forward. But I think ultimately this is going to wind up maybe back in the Supreme Court, bringing an ultimate decision to this. But even with court decisions and even with executive orders, at some point, I think it's going to be important for Congress to speak on this.
I know other religious organizations are also pushing back against the administration, including 27 different groups that are suing the White House to protect houses of worship from ICE operations. I wanted to get your reaction to what Reverend Carlos Malave described as a growing fear among his congregants. Take a listen.
They are deciding to stay away from the churches, basically because of fear. And what we're saying is that this fear is not only a fear that our congregants have, but the whole Latino population in the country is being taken over by this fear that's been inflicted on them by the administration.
Yeah, so Congressman, just before I let you go, what's your response to religious leaders who are disagreeing, vehemently with the president and your party's big priorities on immigration right now?
Well, I disagree with that, with a statement that I've just heard here. I mean, I'm from North Carolina, and I actually heard an interview with a Latino pastor this past weekend that talked about his congregation and how he certainly is leading them and teaching them not to be guided by fear. I think it comes back to the issue of law and order. It comes back to an issue of following the Constitution and just making sure that people have their status legalized when they're here. And I think it's very important. And so if we don't have borders, we don't have a country. That's perfectly clear. And I think this is a time that the administration is just following through on everything that we had said we were going to do.
Well, Congressman Mark Harris, I got to end it there, but thank you so much for your time this morning and for being here, sir.
Thank you.